Oh my God. A long day of qualifying and training and schooling and answering phone calls and emails. Oh my goodness. I knew today was going to be busy. We didn't get home last night till 1:30 in the morning. Had to get up at 7. Had to be at the Meadows by, I wanted to be there 9:45. I had to train Foxy Seaside. She's in Thursday. I didn't want to train her hard, so I trained her in 220. She was way, way better. Tim had, he just put a mini bet on her, V Martingale, and put trailers on her behind. She was pacing way, way better today. So I'm optimistic about Thursday with her. Speed has never been an issue, a problem. With Foxy, it was always in her head, right? She'd touch herself and get out of gear and just kind of lose her concentration. It would always end up in a break or burning a ton of energy, getting out of gear. The more you could keep her fluid. I mean, this goes without saying, right? This is kind of common knowledge, but the more fluid the gait with her, the faster she obviously is, and she was much, much better today. Now, we opted to take Rose Run AJ out of the qualifiers and just train him. We trained him in 2.6, nice, easy mile. He's actually in Friday in the pop-up series, so the timing works out well. We had the qualifier with him, and then we come back with another strong mile, come back with a mile in the race bike today. He should be reasonably tight, I believe, for Friday evening at the Meadows. He drew somewhere in the middle of the gate, I believe. So we got those two trained. We had 4 schoolers, and we had some qualifiers. Now let's go with the before any of this started. As I'm finishing training, my eyes at least were gazed north of the border. Over the past 3 weeks, we had all gas, no brakes try to make his return and make brakes. All brakes, no gas for the last 2 weeks. And it was becoming very frustrating to the point where we drew international papers on him. He was coming to the States. And I have to say, we lucked out in the fact that Doyle Transport couldn't take him over here in time, because I can almost guarantee you, if he had landed here on a Monday and we tried to qualify this horse without changing his shoes, I can almost guarantee you that it would have ended up in a break. And it wasn't just the shoes, it was just the way the horse was. He just wasn't proper. He didn't feel good. Now, I got a chance to go with him on Monday, right? I got to go out, go a mile with him. I went on the track with him. I could see what Dominic was telling me. He wasn't comfortable. Anytime, and I guess this is from training trotters over the years, but anytime you go out and the horse has changed, he is not the same horse you remember, things are different, stop what you're doing, strip everything down, and just treat him as a brown horse or whatever. Don't treat him as all gas, no brakes. That horse is not here right now. Now what you have is a fresh piece of clay to mold, so to speak. I don't care how he got to this point. I don't care what happened. Now we're dealing with a new entity. And we changed all his shoes from the horse that when I sat behind him on Monday, the way that I saw him, and again, taking into effect that Dominic was adamant that the open-toed shoes and a softer track, he just couldn't get a hold of it. So I was taking that piece of information into account also. I said, okay, let's go with a 9/16. We'll square his toe, which is as close as you can get to an open-toe shoe. It's not really the same, but it's as close as you're going to get. I didn't want to make too many changes. We put the aluminums back on him behind and put three small borium beads across his toe up front. Now I went out and trained him. Now he used to touch his knee a little bit. Man, he was that far away from his knees. Again, I went to go a quarter with him. He got out of gear and he got pacey and run. Not as bad as he was before. Come back in, took all the boots off him, changed all his gear, went back out. The horse trotted a quarter, probably in about 28 seconds, and he was way, way better. Wasn't perfect, but he was way better. We had a plan to also treat him for EPM. Now, because he's been treated a lot of times for EPM, I thought that maybe the day before wouldn't be that frustrating for all gas. I was hoping, and it wasn't. Today, obviously, the horse qualified great, looked great. I talked to Sylvain afterwards. He said the horse was good. Hobbles were a little tight. I said, yeah, he got the handcuffs on, but I think that was warranted, and it should remain that way for a while. But, Twin Archie beat him a half length at the wire, 56-1, 56-3, I think, 28-1 on the end of it. But he looked very, very good. So it was like it wasn't like he was a stake horse or an open horse, but it was still a monkey on my back, and I'm sure Dominic felt the same way. So to shake that off and get the horse qualified meant a lot. So now I started my day well, right? We went out in the 4th qualifier. High Hopes made a break. Just had her shod yesterday, so I was a little angry at the blacksmith to begin with that he didn't have this done the end of last week. You could see that she was just shod, and she actually reached up and grabbed at her bell boots twice. Now, a lot will go into what I'm about to say. So, with regards to High Hopes, I guess from an owner standpoint, how close is she from being effective? Now, she has shown flashes where she's fine, and I'm sure she could qualify in 2 minutes. But you are going to spend at least some of the summer holding your breath when she races. Now, is she going to be an effective Buckeye filly, or do we try our hands at the fairs? What do we do with this filly? And the option is always, here's a filly that has matured a lot, both mentally and physically over the last little while, but still has some maturing to do on both spectrums. And I think she's come a long way. But we're in July now, almost. Do we continue to maneuver her as best we can until we get her to a place where she can race, or do we simply take a step back and say, okay, big picture, is this best for us with this filly? Because usually when you do something that's best for the horse, it's in lockstep with what's best for you, whether you know it right away or not. So I'm left thinking, do we just give her some time and let her come back? Because her attitude is infinitely... She doesn't go out and look to get out of work. She makes breaks because she is not right. She's not perfect. Then we'd all the horses scoped. We looked, some mucus, a tiny couple of drops of blood with this filly also. But the work she's been putting in is not that shocking, I suppose. So I like High Hopes. Where does she go from here? I'm not completely positive. So I'm going to table that. I'm going to table that for at least one night's sleep. So next, I went with the Priest. Third B2, 2-1 and 4, 30 and 1 on the end of it. I thought he was okay, especially coming off a 2-7 and a 2-6 qualifier. He was okay. Then we scoped him full of blood. 6 out of 10, or oddly enough, that still is 3 out of 5 for mucus, and which is a lot of mucus, and more than enough for a horse that's coming off 2-7, 2-6. He's been trained in 2-3, 2-4 to come out, go a mile on 2-1 and 4, full of mucus, come 30 and 1. Let's see, his last half 102 and 1, last half in 59 and 3, last quarter in 30 and 1. Not a horrible line. I wasn't disappointed with him. I thought he went okay. The first horse that actually did disappoint me was I Don't Play Nice. I get over the half exactly where I want to be. 30 and 4, 101 and 1. I want to go a mile and 59 apiece. He's not as great on the front. That's not his forte, so to speak. But I just didn't think when I looked at the lineup, when I looked at the horses coming off the car, it looked to me, it looked a lot like 2-3. And I wanted to go quite a bit faster. But partially it was, the line's a little foolish. 1/5 at the half, 2/4 at the 2/4 at the 3/4. At the 3/4 pole, I was on front by 2 lengths. What are these people looking at? Anyway, the horse himself was okay. Then we scoped him. He actually had more mucus. Now, I would have asked for an SAA, but they're running around scoping horses, and Jason had left with the horse. So we didn't get an SAA test on him. He didn't look sick. He didn't feel sick. I think that was all allergies. So how do we mitigate that? Again, this is the time of year for allergies. We're going to do our best to mitigate that. So I guess all things considered, not a horrible line, but certainly not a warm and fuzzy line heading into what I had suspected would be the next generation. I can tell you one thing. All eyes, including mine, most importantly mine, are going to be peeled on Cadeau on Saturday night. I can assure you of that. Coming off this line, I need to see more, and Cadeau has already done way more than this guy so far. So a disappointing line from him, but we will see how everything plays out. We're going to draw the blood of I Don't Play Nice, see what the rest of his blood says before we start jumping to conclusions. But the door has been opened, I can tell you that right now. What do we have next? You know, one horse that did impress the hell out of me today was Oh He'll Know. I was thoroughly impressed with this filly. Here's a filly, again, think back. she'd missed pockets of time because her knees were bothering her. She had at least one or two trips down that modified training lane. Qualified in 2.6 or 2.7 in the mud, but that was 2.5 weeks ago, and we had trained her in 2.4. But was there more there? Sure feels like there is. This filly, that was a great mile from her today. Sneaky good. To half in 1:03 and 1, a mile in 2:03 and 1, last quarter in 30 seconds. It wasn't that I couldn't get to them. I had to back her out around horses and then come on down the lane. She got up and passed a horse, Bobby T. She got up and passed him down by the wire and was closing in on the other two horses. I thought it was a great mile from Oh Hill No. Really, really impressed with her. Now, we had 6 schoolers. We broke them up over 3 because I wanted to go a faster mile with Country Dancing and Rosetta. The other 4 horses were all in Friday. I only want to go in 2.6 with them also. So, Friday and Saturday. Won a mile in 58 and a piece off half and 1-1 with Country Dancing. She was good. Happy with her. Somebody just said, are you going to the Buckeye or the Stallion Series on July the 4th? I think that's fair. I had said to Tim, I don't know if we paid her into the All-Stars, but just leave them at Poconos. When it comes to this filly Stallion Series, I think that is a very fair assumption that's exactly where we probably will start her. She was good, and will get better and better and better. As long as we treat her right, this is a filly that's going to need to be managed into the summer, and Tim has done a great job so far with her, and I'm very, very eager to see how she will be moving forward. Rosetta was in me. There was 3 Amish guys pulled up, an abundance of facial hair. It was everywhere. The wind was blowing in, it was flapping around, and Rosetta got scared. She didn't get scared of the beards, but she got a little anxious in behind the gate. These horses are very novice, the babies, probably first time seeing the gate, and she just got a little anxious and made a break as we went to pick up speed and hit back down trotting. And then went a great mile after that. I was up the quarter in like 34 seconds, 1 mile and 2-1 at a piece. She was very good. I was really, really happy with her. Her first start is supposed to be the 12th of July in New Jersey. Let's see where she lands. But today she was good. And then the last set, there was 4 of us. Chris Lems went with Blue Ventura. Tim Twaddle went with Green Glitter. I went with Manhattan Money. And Jason Merriman went with the What the Hill Colt that's racing on Friday. What's wrong with me? Can't think of his name. Anyway, it'll come to me in a second. It's really bugging me now. No, you won't find him in there. I'll find him in here. Horses of the stable. Get away from me. What's his name? His name's anyway. It will come to me in just a second. So those horses actually went. What is this garbage here? Anthony 2. Sign in. There we go. He's a great guy. I knew as soon as I hit the button it would come to me. So he's a great guy. We won a mile in 2.6 last half and 1-1. They were all very, very good. Manhattan Money. I'll tell you who looks slick right now is Blue Ventura. He's in Friday night and looks very, very good. Rose Run AJ is in Friday night. Looked very, very good today. Both those horses are coming in sharp. Manhattan Money, he's a goofy bugger too. He went to strike at me in the thing and scraped the back of his knee afterwards. He'll be fine for Friday night, but man, he can be a bad little bugger sometimes. I will tell you this. If your Manhattan Money is a nice horse all the time, just watch around his ears. If you're ever there and you're petting him, just be careful around his ears. He gets a little anxious sometimes, and you don't want to see him angry. So he was good. He's a great guy. Again, showed improvement. I was really impressed with this horse today. Here's a horse that just keeps kind of chug-a-lugging forward and getting a little bit better every week. So that's impressive to see. Green Glitter was a little disappointing today, but something wasn't right with her. Her heart seemed fine. She scoped good. I'm going to take her blood tomorrow to see what was going on, but it was the weirdest thing. She just looked out of sorts today. I can't really explain it. So we'll see what happens moving forward with her. So I guess the story of the day was all gas, no brakes, getting qualified. And I know, as I said, the monkey, it felt like it left my back, and I'm sure Dominic feels the same way. He did a great job with this horse. As I said to him today, just diligence. Just be diligent with the horses. You did a great job with all gas, no brakes. I was just so impressed that we were able to tie it all together in a day, right? Strip them all down, put them all back together, put them into Qualify, and there's the trotter we were looking for all along. And that is always a great feeling. And Dominic did a wonderful job. Emily, the caretaker, did also. So it's great to see that. My only disappointment so far of the week has been Chicago Hall and Century Legion getting together. The one thing I did not want to see was one division of the Tompkin Gears, and that's exactly what happened. Now, I told everybody, I'll come home if I have to. It didn't dawn on me that we would have 6 horses in at the Meadows, 5 of them being 2-year-olds. I can't come home Friday. I can't be there. So I suspect Chris Christoforou, somebody with just a quiet set of hands, is going to likely drive Century Legion. And although James threatened not to drive Chicago Hall in his rant the other day, he will drive Chicago Hall. I hope he isn't crazy. I hope he isn't hot. I hope the horse does everything right, because I'll never hear the end of it if he doesn't. So I suspect he'll be fine, and Century Legion will be fine also. He's gone over to Harry's barn. We've just started to move some of the babies around. Resolve Indeed is now with Harry. Century Legion is now with Harry. Everything remains the same otherwise, and I'm sure everything will be fine on Friday evening. So that is everything in a nutshell that I know. Anything I know, you now know when it comes to the horses. I will talk to everybody very soon. I hope you have a good night. Good luck to my partners on Oakwood Cowboy and Greatest Ending tonight. Big days ahead. Double duty for me in the Meadows in Northfield tomorrow. And then Thursday we have Foxy Seaside. Friday, all the babies here, the Tompkin Gears in Mohawk. It should be a wonderful week for us. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy the nice weather. Man, it's just another beautiful day here. Take care. I will talk to you all soon.